Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create a super powerful extra strength onion hair growth oil that is designed to fight against thinning hair, strengthening your roots, and encouraging faster growth, all while smelling amazing. Now, if you've ever tried any onion treatment before, you know the #1 complaint is the smell. But don't worry, this recipe comes with a few essential oils that is pretty much strong enough to mask the smell. But I also must tell you that you have control over the smell by simply cutting up 1/2 of the onion and going ahead and creating your DIY with just one side of it. You don't necessarily have to use both sides of the onion. I just like to use both just so I won't have extra onions left over. Now, you can cook the other half if you want, but I already have plenty onions that I can use to cook. So again, I repeat that you do not have to use the entire onion. This DIY recipe can be used with just 1/2 and it will still give you the growth benefits that your hair needs. So since I've already cut the onions up into small pieces, I go ahead and add it into my pan. So cutting the onions up into smaller pieces releases more sulfur compounds. Now I add 1/2 cup of the almond oil, which prevents hair thinning, strengthens weak strands, and adds softness. And it also carries the nutrients of the onions into your scalp effectively. Next, I'll be using 2 tablespoons of the sunflower oil. The sunflower lightweight texture prevents clogging of the pores and doesn't leave the scalp greasy. Its proteins and fatty acids nourish the cortex of the hair, repairing weak spots and improving thickness over time. It also reduces breakage, split ends, and helps your hair withstand styling and manipulation, in which keeps your hair stronger and reduces long-term thinness. Next, I'll be using 1 tablespoon of castor oil, known as the thickener. Castor oil coats the strands to reduce breakage, supports stronger roots, and adds density over time. It's rich in phenolic acid, which improves scalp health and helps reduce shedding. So once you've applied all of your carrier oil, you then allow it to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes, while checking on it about every 5 minutes to stir it occasionally. But you'll know that it's ready once the onions have turned a golden brown. But remember not to let it burn. Burnt onions will leave a stronger smell that's harder to cover. So now you allow it to sit for another 15 to 20 minutes just to cool off. Once you allow the mixture to cool completely, you then strain it by using a cheesecloth, a fine strainer, or simply a wig cap will do. This is very important because leftover pieces can spoil faster and carry an odor, and that is what causes a lot of people to be very afraid to use any onions for a growth spray, a growth oil, a hair mask, or anything of the sort. But remember that this onion growth recipe do not have to stay on the scalp overnight. You can actually keep it in for about 1 to 2 hours, then simply wash it out with one of your DIY shampoos. But for best results, I keep mine in. I'm not intimidated about a little funkiness of the onions. Remember that you have full control over how much essential oil that you want to add in order to take away the smell, and it is due to the sulfur, which is the growth mineral. Telling you that onions are one of the richest natural sources of sulfur, in which improves blood circulation to the scalp, ensuring hair follicles get more nutrients and oxygen. So now I grab my essential oils, in which rosemary would be the first one. I add about 7 drops. Rosemary increases blood circulation to the scalp, which delivers oxygen and nutrients as well. It helps with dormant follicles, leading to new growth in thinning areas. Next is peppermint oil, in which I add about 8 drops. Peppermint creates a cooling, tingling effect when applied to the scalp. This cooling sensation comes from menthol, which widens blood vessels and improves circulation. Better blood flow means more nutrients and oxygen delivered to your hair. Next is the lavender essential oil, in which I add about 6 drops. Lavender has been shown in many studies to increase the number of hair follicles and encourage thicker, faster hair growth. Next is your clove essential oil, in which I add about 4 drops. Clove contains eugenol, a compound that warms the scalp and boosts blood flow. And next, I will be using Citronella essential oil, in which I'll be applying about 4 drops. Citronella is known for its antifungal and antibacterial properties. It helps control dandruff, scalp acne, and fungal infections that clogs follicles and slow growth. Next, I'll be using orange essential oil. This oil improves blood circulation to the scalp, delivering nutrients and oxygen to the follicles. It pretty much sounds just like the other ones, right? But that is why all of these essential oils go so well with this onion growth oil. And lastly, I'll be adding a half teaspoon of the vitamin E oil, in which I'll be using as a preservative. Now, this is not a strong preservative in the traditional sense like Germaben Plus or Optifin, but instead it works as an antioxidant, which means it slows down oxidation, the process that makes oil go rancid. And carrier oils like almond, sunflower, and castor can oxidize when exposed to air, heat, or light. So adding vitamin E oil helps delay this process, keeping your DIY oils fresh longer. And plus, your girl has finally ran out of Germaben Plus, which was my preservative that I added to pretty much all of my DIY concoctions. And I will be buying more soon, but not right now. Or should I say, not until I'll be reopening my store, which will be pretty soon. But while acting as a stabilizer, vitamin E oil also nourishes the scalp, improves blood circulation, reduces inflammation, and strengthens hair follicles. So I did a smell test and I went back in and decided to add about 4 more drops of the Citronella and also 4 more drops of the Clove essential oil. I'm just trying to make sure that nobody is going out here smelling like onions. But once again, you do not have to add the whole entire onion. You can only use half and just put the other half up until you feel like creating another DIY onion growth spray, onion mask, or another onion growth oil once you run out of that one. But I've already said it once and I will say it again. Please do not let this stop you from creating this dynamic and powerful hair growth oil. It's so many people that have testified that onions do work. And I also have a few people that commented under the last video that I created the onion spray. So if you are suffering from alopecia, or if you pretty much want to grow about a ½ inch in 1 week, or even 1 inch in about 2 weeks, because on an average, human hair only grows about a ½ inch per month. But remember that you can keep your hair in the anagen phase a little while longer, and it has been proven that DIYs like this onion growth oil gives you your desired length without having to make you wait for so long. But remember, some things can fight against growth, like blood pressure medications, hormones, stress, poor sleep, illness, and imbalanced diet. So adequate proteins, vitamins like biotin, vitamin D, vitamin E, and minerals like iron, zinc can fuel growth as well. But neglecting those things can also halt hair growth temporarily. So in other words, although life be out here lifing, be sure to take all the necessary steps that it is in order to have healthy hair. So if you put in the work, then it will definitely work. But if you are just sitting down and just watching these DIYs and allowing these simple videos to be very confused and complicated, then that is going to keep you from doing the necessary things that your hair needs in order for it to thrive. I wear protective styles 9 times out of 10, and as you can see that my daughter does as well. And let's not forget that this part of her hair wasn't even able to fit into a ponytail a few weeks ago. So it'll work if you work it.
Lord, I've been born again and again. Oh, that's wrong. Goodbye yesterday. Only one yesterday. I'm living in the light of a new day. I won't waste another minute in my old ways. Praise the Lord, I've been born again and again and again and again. Oh. Yeah, it's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I want to keep it like to save it. Split screen on TikTok singing. Okay.
Okay, hold your head down, son. So her hair is getting easier and easier to braid because now the hair is flipping through my fingers and I have about this much left now. Usually when I would braid her hair or do cornrows, I would barely get to flip the hair over, and that will cause the braid not to have like a firm foundation like this. So not necessarily tight, but just firm. And I know y'all have seen her cornrows in previous videos. They were a hot mess. Do you want like little rubber bands on each end so they won't come open?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to what people call the kitchens underneath here, or the nape of the neck, you don't have to grip all of that, because what you will do is you will cause breakage. And it's a lot of people hair that's very weak underneath that part, like mine's. I know my hair, so I know what my hair can take and what it can't. The braid don't have to be real pretty or perfect, just as long as it is a cornrow. So this does not have a loose base, but it does not have a tight base as well. So what I'm about to do is just finish braiding the rest of her hair down. So let me just give you guys a close-up. Can you hold your head to the side? As you can see, that her edges is still loose. That is her end right there. And the girl hair is hanging now. It's hanging. We're not gonna worry about trimming and clipping her ends to an even length until after she has grown a certain length. And ta-da! There it is, y'all. So these are pretty secure. This is just a little loose, but your braids do not have to be perfect in order to receive the hair growth that you need, because you remember that these braids are only for protective style purposes, for this growth oil to be applied to her scalp. But the girl got a mullet. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. A mullet. Mullet. That girl got some hang time. And remember I said about the difference in her hair length? As you can tell, this is pretty much longer. And this right here, yeah. See how fuller this side is from this side. But it's all good.
Oh, it is.
It's okay, because I was telling them that we're going to wait to do the chopping, the cutting, and the clipping or whatever. Yeah. That's later down the line, though. We're gonna see.
No, I'm doing it. Shake my head.
Some visible results. And although they are already visible, y'all, we're gonna see a more of a visible result. Her hair grows slow, but when she wear protective styles and apply these DIYs like this powerful onion growth oil, and as a matter of fact, this will be her first time smelling it. So check this out. I should have never said the name of it, just so you can tell me. I mean, if it still smells like onions a little bit, just be honest.
Just a little bit.
Okay, so all you have to do is...
But it's not strong at all.
Okay, so you can take the citronella. If you don't have citronella, you can add more rosemary. You can add more peppermint. All of the essential oils that I added is very strong, like the clove. And as a matter of fact, let me run and grab it real quick, because that'll help her out to where, number one, she's wearing a headband wig anyway, so you won't be able to smell anything lingering underneath. So you won't be able to smell this onion oil. But hold on one second, I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the citronella and the clove. I could have grabbed any other one, but since I had already added like a couple more drops on the voiceover during me doing the application and putting it together, then I might as well bring both of these back out. Can you hold this for a second? So like I stated in my voiceover, that you do not have to use a full onion. You can use a half, but I use the full onion because I just want to receive all of the benefits of what a full onion does. It's not saying that you are not going to receive benefits. I hope pretty much of you can understand where I'm coming from. If you notice that I do like to scoop out all of my ingredients into the bowl. I get every onion out. I get every oil. I continue to take my finger, and whenever I am pouring something in, I take my finger and rub it just to get the rest of the residue out. So that is why I say I use the full onion. But this citronella is pretty strong. So I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 drops of that. You can put the top back on that. And then I take the clove oil and I add 1, 2, 3 of the clove oil. If you are using a half onion, then you won't have to end up applying more of the essential oils. Okay. Smell it. It's better. Okay. So, all right, y'all, it's application time. You hold your head over something. So a little bit goes a long ways. You don't have to drench your whole entire head with this onion growth oil. For those that are going to ask, can it be rinsed out? Yes, it can be rinsed out, but I wouldn't rinse it out until after a few minutes. I will allow the ingredients to penetrate through the scalp and actually get that blood circulation going, getting that tingling sensation all cranked up in the scalp. Because what's the need of applying it if you are not allowing it to penetrate through? But us, we keep ours in. But I still like to tell people so they won't think that we are telling everybody to keep their onion growth oil in their scalp. Some people are going to ask, how long do you keep it in? If you choose to wear it in a protective style and don't shampoo it out. So what day should you shampoo it out? On shampoo day. On shampoo day is the day that you ought to shampoo it out if you choose to leave it in like us. Shampoo day over here is like once a week unless something happens. But on a residual basis to where our hair is already used to it, getting our hair shampooed with our DIY growth shampoos, most of the time it's once a week. And when you shampoo your hair with a DIY growth shampoo, put your head down some. And I make sure I get underneath the nape. And remember that the nape part should not be tight. You see that some people will take all this and put it in the braid. That is unnecessary. You are losing hair. You are taking hair away instead of growing the hair. Like I said, shampoo day, if you want to allow the hair growth shampoos that I create as my DIYs, if you want them to work, you have to apply to the scalp on a consistent basis, because if you don't, then what are you applying it for? So therefore, this is what her hair is looking like nowadays. And if you will go back, for those who are new, who haven't been watching the videos of her growth progress, you will see that her hair has came a mighty long way within, what, a month or so? Because it haven't been like 3, 4, or 5 months. Mm-hmm. This girl literally didn't have no hair at all. And I'm not trying to be funny, but a lot of y'all that been hanging around for a good minute, y'all know she ain't have no hair. And let alone, come on now, when her hair is in a wet state, it's able to be in a ponytail, y'all. Now, in its loose state, you have to remember that it is dry, it's puffy. So therefore, it was one point in time that I wasn't even able to put one side in a ponytail while I braid. A braid, basically. Right. But y'all, I'm not going to talk your ear off. I hope that this video have done you some good. Like I said, do not be afraid of onions. Onions are very powerful due to the sulphur that's inside of it. You don't have to walk around smelling like onions. Remember that I used a whole onion. I'm not making y'all use a whole onion. Use a half onion, but get that sulphur in your scalp. Get that in your scalp. And stop pretty much worrying so bad with drowning the comment section with so many questions to where you keep yourself from creating these wonderful DIYs that you can tell is taking her hair to one level to the next. But to keep your hair in this anagen phase a little while longer, this DIY growth onion oil is going to do it. So, do you have anything for the people?
Verse of the day is Deuteronomy. Am I saying it right?
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy. Just say it.
Deuteronomy.
Yeah. 11:18. It says, continue to think carefully about these commands and everything that you do. Tie them as signs onto your hands so that you remember them. Also tie them around your heads.
You have to go, what was before that? What was the commands?
Continue to think carefully about these commands.
I'm saying that's Deuteronomy 11:18. What do 11:17 says?
But be careful. Do not turn away from the Lord so that you worship other gods. Do not let those things deceive you. If you do that, the Lord will be very angry with you. He will not send rain down from the sky. The land will no longer give you food to eat. Then you will soon die. You will no longer be able to live in the good land that the Lord is giving you. Continue to think carefully about these commands and everything that you do. Tie them as signs onto your hands so that you remember them. Also tie them around your heads. So be careful.
So the command
and don't turn away from God or try to worship other false gods, because there's no other God than the one true living God.
And those are the commands. Let the church say amen.
Amen. Now I see why I say read before that, because that makes sense. At first I was like, what that mean? Okay. Yeah. Don't be a fool to these people, y'all. Don't be a fool to these other gods, because there's no other God but Jesus Christ.
The only one true.
Only one that you're going to have to
answer to on Judgment Day.
Yes.
Because their gods, they don't even talk back to them.
Mm-hmm. Them statues don't do nothing for you. God stand on business. Bye.